Do you have a portable garbage bin? You know, the kind with wheels and a handle, which you roll down to the curb for pickup? Big, stout, standing about 5 feet high, 5 feet tall. Ours is a brownish tan. Maybe you have a blue recycle bin too. We have one. Monday is garbage day in our neighborhood, so every Sunday night I dutifully wheel our big brown bin down to the street, where it stands, like a sentinel, guarding the house. Up and down the street I see many other bins, standing at attention, standing on guard. Because of their size and bulk, they look like a line of people, a line of soldiers on picket duty, or maybe a line of robots out of a 1930s movie. It almost makes me feel protected, like someone, or should I say something, was watching over me. In any event, the line of identical garbage cans gave me a sense of order, of decorum. Now, I stay up late, too late, watching and listening to things on YouTube. When I hear the birds outside starting to chirp their morning songs, or it starts getting light, well, it's definitely time for bed. This particular night, I fell asleep in my chair, but was woken up by an ad for an online grammar program. My heart was pounding, and for a few seconds I was badly disoriented. And then it came to me where I was. and that it really was time for bed. I rose from my chair as I shut down the computer, plunging the room into relative darkness. But before I staggered off to bed, I actually felt compelled to take a look out my front window at the pre-dawn street. The first thing I noticed was that our big brown garbage bin had disappeared. Or had it? No, but it wasn't in its usual spot. No, it was about 15 feet over to the left and next to the neighbor's bin. What the heck was it doing over there? I hadn't put it there. Gosh, it almost looked like they were in conversation. That made me laugh. Talking garbage cans. I really did have to go to bed. I was just turning away when I realized the bins were no longer standing in orderly lines, each standing sentinel in front of the house to which it belonged. Now they appeared to be congregating in small groups, like they were people hanging out at a block party. And that's when I heard the strange music. It was an odd mixture of jazzy electronics and an eerie musical piping, which sent shivers down my spine and froze me, not just mentally, but to my spot, staring out the window. And as I stared, the garbage cans began to dance. Not that I knew it at first. At first I simply realized the cans were in motion, rolling forward on their wheels under their own power. They seemed to pair off, 2 by 2, as if they were selecting partners for... what? Did I actually see them slightly nod to one another? Was I going mad? And then the garbage cans that had paired off began to move about the street, for there was no doubt of it now, began to dance. Some appeared to shake, like they were shaking it to rock and roll, while others seemed to twirl around, as if they were waltzing. I gazed on in amazement as a group of cans surrounded a pair that was gyrating with a special vigor, forming a circle around them and then clapping, like a circle of people clapping to encourage a dancing couple, clapping by banging their lids up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. They must have been making a lot of noise, but I couldn't hear anything. Nor could anyone else, apparently. The rest of the street remained asleep. I was the only one awake, the only witness. The only one awake. Awake and maybe hallucinating? Suddenly I was blinded by a brilliant flash of light. For an instant I blinked my eyes in bewilderment. And then I understood. The sun had just peeked over the roof of the house across the street. It was sunrise. I blinked again. And all the brown garbage bins were standing in orderly lines, each in front of its own separate house. Nothing stirred on the street, not even a cat or a rabbit. I went to bed in disgust. Over the next few days, I thought about my strange experience, or vision, or nightmare. The logical conclusion was that I was overtired, that it was all in my head. That was the most sensible idea. But it had all seemed so real. I determined to try an experiment. Wednesday night, we put out our big blue-wheeled recycling bin, and I determined to stay up and see what it and the other blue bins got up to during the wee small hours of the morning. I was sitting at my dining room table listening to Mortis Media. The darkness had taken control hours before, and midnight had come and gone, when I heard a noise coming from outside, from the street, in front of the house. Were the recycling bins dancing? I crept over to the front window and looked out and saw a diver. A diver. At least that's what I call them. You know how people who raid dumpsters are called dumpster divers? Well, we have people who raid our blue bins looking for bottles and cans they can take to the local recycling depot and turn in for pocket change. I didn't like the idea of people pawing through my blue bin. Hey, it might be trash, but it was my trash. But as most of the divers were poor street people, I looked the other way. If I was helping them to survive, okay. But not this dude. For starters, he had apparently driven up in a Dodge van. Okay, it was an old Dodge van, but hey, this was a guy who could apparently afford wheels. Worse still, the dude was wearing a helmet with a headlamp, like he was an urban explorer or something. Guess he wanted to see what he was about while looking through my discards. This was a middle-class guy trying to supplement his income without having to do too much work. Sheesh. As I watched in disgust, he walked over and pulled back the lid of the bin to peer inside and gave a muffled scream. What happened next happened so fast, I didn't get a good look. But the blue bin swallowed the guy. 1 second, he was standing there, bending slightly forward, and then something pulled him up and into the bin. I had a momentary glimpse of a pair of legs waving in the air, and then the lid of the blue bin snapped down, and he was gone. I stood there in shock. Once again, I would have believed that I had hallucinated the whole thing, but there was the dude's Dodge van parked in front of the neighbor's house. I thought about going out and taking a look in the blue bin, but nope. So I went to bed instead. And in the morning, the Dodge van had disappeared. Did I just imagine the whole thing? All I know for certain is that later this year, we're slated to get more wheeled bins. More wheeled bins. Big green composting bins. Decomposing bins? I think I'll start going to bed early. The moral of the story? I've told you guys about this, as I can no longer talk about it with my friends. Whenever I do, they say, "What a load of garbage!" If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the Night Floaters, werewolves, and the Black-Eyed Children. So again, please consider subscribing. Please help me to reach my goal of 2,500 subs in 2022. Till midnight. Cheers! Pictures used in today's video courtesy of Pixier and courtesy of Dr. Anne Marie Curious. And the music is that incredible earworm, Kool Cats. Kool Cats. Kool Cats. By that cool cat patron of the internet, Kevin MacLeod. Thank you for listening.